Anyway, Synthetix SNX has been traded start around 2019. It remained commonly dark to various until 2021, when it showed up at its immaculate high ATH of 2877. Will Synthetix reclimb that high? What could come to pass for the expense of SNX in the accompanying 10 years, as shown by late long stretch gauges? The expense of Synthetix SNX will reach 1670, around the completion of 2022 1264, close to the completion of 2023 and 7366. Around the completion of 2025, Synthetix will be esteemed at 2679 in 2027 and 20,750 in 2030. After a historic 2021, what's next? At the expense of SNX in 2022, will we see another ATH, or will Synthetix fight to augment? Might Synthetix anytime work on eventually in this? Well, take a gander at the top esteem. Assumptions for SNX to witness firsthand in case Synthetix is a good investment. What is Synthetix, and how might it work? Synthetix SNX, sometimes suggested as Synthetix Association Token, is the computerized cash of the Synthetix exchange, a DEX decentralized exchange where specialists can trade synths-designed interpretations of assets. As CFDs, synths can be numerous assets including gold and items, not just crypto, and track the expense of the asset truly through profits. The idea is that this could be especially fascinating to vendors who are enthusiastic about trading crypto but not wanting to hold the essential asset. This, moreover, gives Synthetix an advantage over other DEXs, as Uniswap UNU and Twist CRVSNX can similarly be set apart. To get the show, stakers are repaid in return charges synths, and the Synthetix exchange work on the Ethereum ETH Association, and the SNX token is suitable with Ethereum's ERC20 representative standard at. The hour of Synthetix has a total load of 215,258,834 SNX, of which 11,484,153,301 is accessible for use. 54 coin worth. Check SNX esteem assumption is more cautious than Digitalcoin. Eventually they don't see SNX coming to 17, in light of everything they predict, that SNX will show up at a high of 1504 partially through 2031. In light of everything CoinWorth gauge guesses that Synthetix ought to reach 10 earlier, gauging 1076 around the completion of 2025, while Digitalcoin acknowledges it will happen by 2027. CoinQuote, in like manner, communicated that some place in the scope of 2024 and 2028, these 5 years, would bring an addition. Synthetix cost would move from 702 to 1372. Which is up 95. Synthetix will start 2024 at 702, then take off to 745 inside the underlying a half year of the year, and finish 2024 at 857, that infers 105 from today. Disregarding the qualifications between CoinWorth guess and Digitalcoin, the resemblances are more grounded. Both guess that Synthetix should increase logically later on, and question it will see 20 anytime soon. Our continue to go long stretch Synthetix cost figure comes from computerized cash worth assumption, and they are staggeringly bullish on Synthetix, notwithstanding the way that they foresee SNX pounding past its ATH, yet they similarly acknowledge it could hit levels in a general sense higher towards the 10 years end. Here's computerized cash worth assumptions figure for 2025 and 2030. By January 2025, computerized cash worth assumption guesses that Synthetix ought to be esteemed at 2049. Synthetix will then north of 2 times and destroy its ATH to hit a fantastic 4492. By February, computerized money worth assumption then at that point acknowledges SNX will see the worth in month on month for the rest of the year, hitting various ATHs on the way, beating 50 by April, outperforming 60 by August, and completing 2025 at a befuddling 7366. Notwithstanding, this is all little interestingly with what computerized cash worth assumption expects for 2030, starting the year at 15,822. Past twofold 7366, which they expect for the completion of 2025. Cryptographic cash worth gauge acknowledges that SNX will continue with its furor upwards, again hitting new ATHs with essentially reliably, until it hits its generally critical anytime cost of 20,750 by December 2030. This is perhaps the most raised assumption ever for Synthetix. What will happen to the worth of Synthetix SNX in 2025 and 2025? The expense of Synthetix will work, according to the top expense forecasters. No doubt SNX will logically show up at an expense someplace in the scope of 8 and 10 in 2025, according to additional cautious guesses, which is perhaps possible. Meanwhile, bullish forecasters check that in 2025, Synthetix could hit another ATH and conceivably hit 70. Cost estimates 2022 Synthetix should trade with bullish energy and beat 6 around the completion of 2022. As indicated by Synthetix cost assumptions for 2022, the typical expense of SNX will be 7 before the year's finished. The expected generally outrageous for 2022 will be 1670. And the expected least will go from 295 to 334. Synthetix SNX cost assumptions. 2023 Synthetix cost assumptions for 2023 anticipate that SNX should start at 656 around the beginning of the year. A further improvement to 805 most of the way during that time is typical. The run-of-the-mill cost will be around 702. And the best expense of SNX is expected to be 1264. Synthetix SNX cost gauges 2024, as indicated by our data, close to the completion of 2024. Synthetix will really need to show up at a normal expense of 1042. The expected high for 2024 will be 2026, and on the inconvenience the low will be 041. Synthetix SNX cost assumptions. 2025. As per Synthetix cost assumptions for 2025, SNX will show up at an ordinary of some place in the scope of 1076 and 1239. Close to the completion of 2025, the expected high for 2025 will be around 7366, and the low will be around 016. Synthetix SNX cost conjectures 2027. As per our 2027 Synthetix cost assumption, SNX will really need to contact the 2679 cost mark on the likely addition, while on the disservice it will tumble to 008. The regular Synthetix cost assumption for the completion of 2027 is 1363. Synthetix SNX cost assumptions 2030. The top expense assumptions for Synthetix in 2030. Expect SNX administering above 100 for by far most of the year. If the token gets along commendably, experts predict a restriction of 20,750 could be possible. The most negligible Synthetix cost assumption for 2030 is 1436. As a long hypothesis, the expense of Synthetix SNX will be regarded at 7, close to the completion of 2022 and 12. Around the completion of 2023, Synthetix SNX will